Please be seated. So rejoice, brood of vipers. How fun is that? I love John. Right? He's out there proclaiming the good news, which is that Jesus will come with winnowing forks and fire, and you can just feel how ready John is. John is so eager for somebody to come and take names and set things right and make it all okay. I love that we get so much John in Advent. We have this beautiful juxtaposition to today of the song in this beautiful thing in Philippians of rejoice always. Again, I say rejoice, because particularly I think Paul has to repeat himself. It may not be exactly what people are expecting Paul to say. Advent is this time of waiting, and it is hard because we are sort of in this in-between place of saying that we are waiting for something that we have no idea about. We do not know the hour or the day. We do not know when Jesus is coming back. We have no idea. But we also say it's going to take exactly 4 weeks. And we've just lit the third candle, so you've got like one candle left, Jesus. We're waiting. Patience is on the list of my least favorite virtues. This idea of patiently waiting with expectation and keeping our hearts solid and set in hope. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, in case you missed it the first time, I said rejoice. This time of waiting can feel like we are standing at the crossroads of hope and despair. We light pink candles and say rejoice. We've been singing for weeks now and have one more week left of singing, O come, Emmanuel. Rejoice, rejoice. And some of us more than others also turn on the news. Some of us more than others also walk out of the house. Some of us more than others are grieving the loss of loved ones in this season. And again, we say rejoice. The nights are getting longer and we frantically light little tiny flames against the darkness, but the darkness is holy too. And waiting and not knowing is sacred time. And John calls to us from the wilderness, you brood of vipers. But then he also has some helpful tips for how not to be such bad vipers. Be patient, generous vipers. Be a viper with just one coat, if that's all you need. Learn how to have enough, for this time in the wilderness is long and confusing. John has everything set on this expectation that the one who is coming is going to set everything right, and you can feel that John is ready for the fight. He is ready for his front row seat to the world being set right again. If you are a soldier or a tax collector, do not take more than you need. Share your coat, don't be greedy, be satisfied with what you have, and then sit back and wait because Judgment Day is coming. I envy John. I envy John's clear simplicity because I do not know, and I don't even entirely feel comfortable calling other people broods of vipers, even when it looks like they're living up to it so well. I keep coming back this week to Paul's rejoice. Rejoice, and I will say it again, and maybe that is the harder commandment in these days. Because God has never shown up in a perfect world. God has never shown up to an unhurting people. God has never showed up to people whose eyes were dry and had everything figured out. This promise of God, Emmanuel, God with us, was always a God coming to the broken and the confused. It was always a God showing up into the darkest, most confusing places and sitting with us at the crossroads. God's project all along has been to come and sit beside the brokenhearted and the beautiful, to proclaim that rejoicing is holy, and even on these dim and dusky evenings, our little candles point the way towards an actual truth. The Advent theme is always about getting ready, prepare. Prepare and get ready because God is coming. And I don't know sometimes how to do it. And so I think all we can do really is practice. We will practice being satisfied now, practice making sure that our neighbors have coats. We can practice rejoicing. We can practice believing the impossible. We can practice knowing that God is coming. We learn how to hope and fumble in the newness of these practices. We can try on fearlessness like a pair of shoes that makes our steps unsteady. And if we cannot start big, if we cannot relinquish all of our fear, if we cannot hold the huge, resounding, loud rejoicing, we can tap our feet until we get ready to dance, and we can whisper and hum until we are ready to sing loud with the angels. God is not reasonable, and that is good news. The reasonable does not bring any comfort. Reasonableness cannot heal the world, and reasonableness has never been God's promise. The promise is that the impossible is coming. The promise is that the impossible is coming on wings of joy and hope. And we do not know when, and we do know when, because it is now. So rejoice. Amen.